Hey guys, back out in the shop today. Today we are going to be working on the trunk floor pan. Yesterday we finished up the trunk shelf panel, and I'll be posting that video today or sometime. But anyway, today we're working on the trunk floor pan, so we've had to change how we're got the car set up. So let's go check that out. All right, here we go. We actually have got the car raised up using our hoist to do this trunk floor pan. This is the only way I've found to do this safely, I guess. But anyway, it's still on the rotisserie, just not bolted. So this is just basically there for safety, you know, to catch it if it falls. But yeah, we've got the car hoisted up with a 4x4 and a strap. But we're gonna go in, and you guys already know we cut the front side, you know, to do the trunk shelf panel, if you watched my other video. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna make a cut over here along this side all the way up, and the same over there. And then we'll start peeling this thing out of here. It's quite a bit of work, quite a bit more work than the other panel, but it's got to be done. So let's set this tripod up and get on it. All right, I'm going to cut this from the underside, and you guys can see I took my air hammer and punched a hole in it just the same as I did before. Kind of drove it up through there. This is where the new panel and the old panel meet here, but I drove my air hammer up through there, knocked a hole in it, and I'm just going to run my saw all the way up through here on this side, inside edge, all the way up to here. Now this all gets replaced here, but I'm not going to cut it out just yet. I'm going to leave my cut on this side all the way down through there on this side of the brace, and then I'll pick all that other stuff out later, because it's got the latch for the trunk and everything on it, and I got to get it all out and make sure it's all perfect when I get it out. Make sure it all goes back exactly how it's supposed to. But I'll go ahead and get the pan out, you know, get the bulk of it out, and then I'll be able to work in there pretty freely, you know, sitting in there and see all that stuff pretty good. So let's go ahead and set this phone up on the tripod here, and we will start cutting this. All right, guys, we are back. Let me slide up in here real quick. Okay, the trunk pan is out. You guys can see, like I said, I was going to cut it a little bit on the inside. So you can see the little bit of the trunk pan still actually tucked up underneath this seam sealer here. But you peel that out of the way, and you can get to these spot welds real easy. And we'll go around and drill all these spot welds here, and use our air hammer on both sides. This side here, you can kind of see it's already peeled up a little bit, but we'll just do that all the way down. And then you can see this trunk pan actually goes up underneath the you know, housing there. You can see it's actually already split a little bit where it's rusted apart, but that's okay, we'll fix that. Gotta drill these spot welds here and here on these rests, and then drill this spot weld here and here for the latch, and then we'll just use our air hammer and pop these up on each side. Now this will still stay in place and attached here, but we'll take the pan out from underneath it. But we'll just work this all the way around with the air hammer and our tools, and finish getting all the rest of this stuff out, and and we'll be back when we get it closer. There's not really much room for the tripod in here, so I'll just try to get as much done as possible, and we'll be back. Thanks for watching. All right, I've been working on it for a few minutes here. Just a little update. I got everything peeled up on both sides all the way down, and then I just cut it straight through. Now keep in mind there's still floor pan or trunk pan over here on this side, then I'll have to dig that out later on. But it's easier to do all that once you get the rest of this back section out. But I drilled the first couple of pinch welds here, and then I just used my zip gun air hammer and hammered these all out with that chisel bit, and then just made a cut through this side also. And that's where you have it. You can kind of get an idea how that's actually in there, but our new panel will get fit up in there real nicely. But once we get this out, we'll grind all that and clean it up and see what we got. So we'll be back. All right, guys, we are back. We've been waiting probably about 2 weeks on parts to arrive, so we've been doing other little things around the shop. A couple other small jobs came in, but finally the other day we got the rest of our parts in. So you can see there's our trunk pan drop off for our right hand, and there's our left hand. We were waiting on the left hand for a long time. They were out of stock at one place, and then the corona slowed it down, but we're good now. So slight change in plans. We were originally going to try to save that drop down because it's really not in that bad a shape, but since we can't save this one really, we're just going to go ahead and replace them both. So we're going to go ahead and set a table up out here and get all this welded up as one piece, so it's a little bit easier to install. But yeah, let's set the tripod up and get this stuff welded together. All right, I've got the trunk pan up here and on the table, and the pieces just clamped into place here. These are the trunk shelf drop-off panels. But I just went with some basic measurements that I took before I cut all this apart. It measured 75 inches across from here to that corner over there, and then 75 and a quarter from this edge to that edge over there. And so I've basically just redid that right here on this table with these new panels, and you can see they fit really nice. Just bend these tabs around a little bit, punch some holes in them, and then we'll weld all this up. I got to do a little grinding. This panel here came in weld through primer, but I couldn't get these panels like that. They only came in this coated stuff, so we got to grind this black off a little bit, and once we do that, then we'll weld it all up and have one big solid piece. And we'll go over here and cut out these old ones, that one there and this one here. And once we cut that out, then we'll finish picking the rest of the little pieces out and grinding up in here, and we'll be ready to put that panel in. I might have to get a little help with that thing. It's kind of heavy. It'll probably be even heavier with two people, but we'll just see. I might be able to manhandle it. So let's get at it. All right, we've got all the holes punched out where we need them so we can weld through for our tack welds. Like I said once before, I always add a few seams here and there because if it's my car, I don't want it coming apart, and I don't want anybody else's car coming apart either. So we throw a few extra welds in. This here I'll clamp up, and that'll weld up in there. And once I get the sides welded, then I can worry about getting these flanges all welded up. But I'll set this tripod up and go ahead and start welding it up. All right, guys, the trunk shelf panels are now attached to the trunk shelf, or the trunk pan, I guess you could call it. It's a little heavy now, so I'm definitely going to have to probably get a hand with it, but before we do that, before we call anybody to help us lift it up, we've got to go in here and finish cutting this out. And all I'm going to do is, you can see up here it's already loose, and the same on the other side, but all I'm going to do is cut it out a little big here, back in this corner, and just go ahead and get this piece the rest of the way out. And same on the other side, just cut that little bit there out of that corner. And it don't matter if I get up into the quarter, you know, I can cut this quarter out if I need to, because I've got brand new quarters. They finally came in, so all of them's getting replaced, so we'll make it as easy as possible to get this pan in. But we will finish cutting all this crap out, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. Both of the panels are out. I used the air hammer, and like I was talking about earlier, I just air hammered out. I did not get into any of this panel at all. You can see I just plucked it away. Kind of, if you just get that chisel right through the pinch welds here, you can knock them all out. But anyway, they're both out, and now we're going to roll out here, and this right here has got a little rot. So instead of replacing this whole entire panel, I'm just going to go ahead and put a new flange on this, and I'll cut it all out and build it back all the way down through there, and then I'll make some holes in the new one where you know, I'll punch it where the new panel is going to be on the inside, and we'll weld it from the top side. That way we don't have any welds blowing back at us. I hate welding from underneath. But you can see this side here is a little worse. But yeah, we're just going to cut this out next and redo all this, and then we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. I got the tail panel all cut out and replaced, good as new. This piece here wasn't bad, so we didn't cut it out, but anyway, everything's all taken care of there as far as that rot that I showed you. Underneath already, it's welded, and I welded most of the back side, but I also ground everything. And I'll finish welding this up and grinding a little bit, and a few more minutes here, and then hopefully tomorrow we will have a little bit of help and we can get this panel hoisted up in there. So we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Had a couple buddies help us lift the panel up in there, and it fit really nice. You can look at the lips here. They line up perfect. I went ahead and drilled all the holes so I can, you know, tack it in, but it fit really nice. But all we did to get it in there was one person got on each side, and then we just slid it up in there past this hoist, and then pushed it forward so it would sit on this lip, and everything else matched up and lined up perfect from the trunk shelf panel. So now it's ready to blast in. So let's grab the welder, and we will go ahead and start welding. All right, guys, trunk floor is in. The hoist, as you can tell, I've went and moved it out of the way. It's over here. And so the car is totally bolted back on the rotisserie now. So I've got to, it's basically just all welded up top here. And then, so now I'm gonna be rolling it over and finishing the welding from the bottom. But it should hold. So now's the moment of truth. We're going to go ahead and try to spin this thing over real quick. And no better way to check our welds, right? Lock these wheels. All right, here we go. All right, guys. There it is. I guess it's gonna hold up. You can see my welds down here. So I got good penetration in my tacks. I went ahead and threw a couple other little small tacks here and there. I always do. I've said that before, but I've still got to go through and weld all this stuff here. And, you know, a lot of other stuff, but a lot of the stuff I'll leave loose, like these here, how it's not tacked down there. I'll leave that loose and wiggly because I don't have the quarter on yet. Once I get the quarter on, then I'll be able to go back and finish tacking that in and, you know, right exactly where it needs to be. But, yeah, a lot of welding still to do under here. But that's pretty much it for the trunk panel, guys. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and ask, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Next, we will be working on the underside. I know it looks terrible, but if you guys look, that's actually undercoating. So it'll actually peel off of there with a little heat and a scraper. So we're gonna go ahead and, you know, heat that all up and scrape that. And we've got a couple little patches to fix there and there. That stuff will be in our next video. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. All right, guys, thanks for watching our trunk panel install. We did the full trunk pan with the trunk side drop-offs. You can buy that as a complete unit, but we did not. We bought it all separate with the COVID-19 stuff going on. It was kind of hard to even get what we got, but in a timely manner, that is. I probably could have waited longer and got other stuff, but I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. If you're following along, I hope you liked the build, and we hope to have this thing on the frame back ready to be put back on the frame in about 2 weeks. So I've got a couple weeks off of work, so we're going to be out here knocking things out. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button and share with your friends, and hopefully we'll have a motor in this thing by the summer. Thanks for watching, guys.